guys, welcome back to my channel for another video. If you're new, hello, so happy you came by to watch today's video. Today I'm going to be doing a Q&A, an updated cozy fall Q&A for you guys. It has been a while since I've done a Q&A on my channel, and I like doing them from time to time, every couple of months, because I feel like I get to hear what you guys are wanting to know, and I get to answer questions that maybe, you know, I'm not able to answer. All of the questions came over from Instagram, so if you're not following me on Instagram, that link is always down below. I do want to thank today's video sponsor. It is Unhide, and you guys can see my beautiful throw blanket back here that is so soft. So I'll tell you guys a little bit more about Unhide here in a second, but we are just going to have some coffee together. I just have some cold brew and some oat milk in here, and I am going to answer your guys' questions. There are quite a few. I think I cut it off at, let's see, so here's page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages. I think that's where I cut it off. So I'm going to do my best to get through them all. I probably won't be able to, so I apologize if you ask a question and I cannot answer it, but I will do my best. So let's jump into today's cozy fall Q&A. Pour yourself a cup of whatever you love, and I hope you guys enjoy just listening to me answer some questions. All right, so before I get into answering the questions, I want to tell you guys about Unhide. So Unhide is their little tag right here. I'm gonna pull it off my bed, but it's pretty heavy and it is so soft and so cozy. It says for love and not fur. So they are a creator of vegan blankets and throw pillows and all different styles of blankets. This is their new style called the braided marsh, but they do have other styles on there. And all of their products are vegan, which if you guys have been watching me for a long time, you know we are animal lovers. I have 4 dogs, and so I love when there's a company that really values, you know, animals and protecting them. And I wanted to share this little fact with you guys that over 100 million animals, which that's a lot, are used for different things in the fashion industry, and Unhide is trying to change that. So they have all different types of beautiful blankets and some pillows even on their website, and they are so soft. So that was the first thing. When I opened this up, I was like, wow, this is incredibly soft. And not only is it really soft, but it's got some weight to it. You know, weighted blankets have been said to be therapeutic, help with anxiety and all those different things. And they're actually, weighted blankets are all, my kids want them all on their Christmas list. So I definitely think that there is like a calming effect to them. And Unhide, the weight of their blankets is even better than a weighted blanket. So it's going to just make you really calm, really cozy when you snuggle up with your Unhide blanket. Like I said, it's heavy. The other great thing about this blanket here that I got, which again is the braided marsh style, is that it's a full queen size blanket. So like there's a lot of blanket here, but it is so soft, so cozy. You can drape it over your bed or your couch, and not only that, but it's really cute, and it's going to give some visual interest to wherever you put it. It's perfect for putting on the couch or on your bed, and it's got this beautiful braided detail to it. So if you guys want to check out Unhide for yourself or for a Christmas gift, because the holidays are coming up, they have given me a 15% off coupon code. I will put it right here going across the screen. It is just Grace and Grit, and you can enter that in at checkout and save 15% on your order. And just so you guys know, when you shop with Unhide, you're actually doing your part in doing something good as well. I love companies that give back in turn of purchases, and Unhide donates to the Humane Society to help animals and all of the wonderful efforts that they have going on over there. So your purchase is also doing some good for animals in your communities, and if you're an animal lover, then the holidays especially, it just it hits your heart a little. If I could have all the doggies, I would have them all, but we have 4, and so our house and hands are full. But I will have all that information to Unhide down below. It would make a wonderful gift, truly like a luxurious, heavy, therapeutic, calming, snuggly blanket for catching up on your favorite show or putting on your bed and just getting a really good night's sleep. So I will have all the information to Unhide down below, but I do want to thank them for sponsoring today's Q&A. All right, so I thought we could keep it extra cozy with my Unhide blanket while I answer your guys' questions and just have a sip of coffee and have my comfy blankie. This is turning into like a very relaxing time. So I have questions all over the board on all different kinds of topics, so let's just jump in. How to homeschool kids who have a hard time focusing and don't love learning. Well, I think the first step is to show them that learning is something to love. So if they have, you know, blocks or barriers because of a different schooling setting that you've taken them out of, sometimes time is beneficial. If they just have a poor attitude about school, you might consider why. You might look at that a little further. What can you change to be more accommodating without, you know, letting them run the show? Kids who have a hard time focusing generally need a lot of physical activity, so make sure that you are keeping that a priority. And plan lessons that are going to require the most focus after a period of time where they've just been able to really exert themselves. Kids who have a hard time focusing often benefit from having like fidget toys or being able to color or draw as you read. So adjusting your expectations can sometimes be helpful. But then also, you know, sometimes as a parent, you do just have to say, I need you to do this. So please focus, please try to do it, and then you can just sit there and, you know, refer them back to what the task at hand is. And then maybe, you know, a little reward after a period of time where they've been improving on that. So that would be my advice for how to homeschool kids who have a hard time focusing. Top 5 bucket list destinations. So usually I feel like when people ask for bucket lists, they're thinking like outside of the US. And I'm just being really honest with you guys. I don't know if I'll ever go outside of the US. Right now, it's definitely not a possibility. So I am going to stick with 5 bucket list places in the United States. So the first one is Yellowstone National Park. I'm gonna be checking that off real soon. Glacier National Park, gonna be checking that one off real soon. I would love to go to Mount Rushmore and see that with my own eyes. That would be number 3. I would love to go to Charleston, North Carolina, and I would love to go to Savannah, Georgia. So those are like my top 5 bucket list places that I have on my radar right now. The next question is, am I worried about having high school classes accredited? No, I am not worried about that. It's just all about those test scores when it comes time to applying for college. And I've really taken on the attitude of not allowing worry to rob me of what I need to be teaching my high schooler right now. So I know that God has a path for her and He has a plan for her. And as long as I'm educating her and preparing her, then He's going to open the right doors for her. So that is what I believe. Please help. I have a very rambunctious 4-year-old who just runs wild while we do school. Well, I wish I could help you. That is tough. That is very tough. Confining them to a certain area might be helpful. Specific toys that only come out during school time might be helpful, but really the best tip would probably be to figure out how to incorporate said 4-year-old into school. And if they're not able to be incorporated, maybe going outside so the 4-year-old can run around while you maybe work at you know, in the grass or something with your other kids. If you have any help, can you hire a mother's helper? Do you have any family members that might be able to help? I'm really sorry. It's very hard with toddlers and 4-year-olds. Thankfully, when I was homeschooling my youngest daughter, she really wanted to be included. And so that was really the key. Like if I was doing a read aloud, she just had to be sitting on my lap to listen. I couldn't like have her over there. She needed to be like on me, but that did help. So I hope that you're able to figure it out, because I know how hard that is. The next question, have I ever met a follower of mine while out and about, like at Costco? Yes, I have. And let me tell you guys, it is the weirdest feeling ever. But if you ever see me, please do come and say hi, because it is like such a great reminder that there's like a lot of normal, nice people out there who follow us. But yeah, it's happened enough to where like I remember it and stuff. It's probably happened about 10 times, and in really random locations. Like one time I was at a swim meet for my son Caleb in Arizona, and I was in the bathroom, like this outdoor bathroom. It was so hot, it was so sweaty, it was really gross actually, and I had Olivia in there with me, and I was like telling her, wash your hands. No, you didn't wash them long enough. Wash your hands longer. And there was someone right there that as I was leaving was like, I watch you on YouTube. And I was like, oh my gosh, she totally just saw me like disciplining my child in the bathroom in Yuma, Arizona of all places. So yeah, it's happened enough. It doesn't happen every day, but it's happened enough where like my kids recognize, they're like, whoa, Mom, that was so weird. So yeah, it's happened, and I love meeting you guys. So if you ever do see me, please say hi. But I'd be lying if I said it still didn't feel like weird. The next one, just curious, do I get my lips filled or are they naturally awesome? That is very funny. My lips are natural. I actually get them from my mom. And yeah, thank you for the compliment. I've always had very full lips, and I actually got made fun of for it in like middle school. So yeah, my lips have always been like this, and I get it from my mom. No lip filler here. What kind of lunches do my kids make when it is their turn? Needing ideas for my 9-year-old. I made a list of 30 different lunches that I'll have to share with you guys. They do simple things: grilled cheese, snack plates, macaroni and cheese, homemade, gluten-free chicken nuggets with fruit, veggies, turkey sandwiches on sourdough. That's been like a new favorite thing that they've been having. The Costco bean and cheese burritos. Anytime I do a grocery haul, I try to share some like lunch ideas with you guys in there. So look out for those. But yeah, I should probably share that list I have. The next one, are the book studies enough for 8th grade? I think you're referring to the Good and the Beautiful book studies. So at first last year, I wasn't quite sure if it was enough for that child of mine who needs constant repetition in order for them to not forget things. In hindsight, I probably should have just stuck with that, because we ended up hating what I tried to use. So I wasted money on that. So this year, my 8th grader is doing the book studies. Now, he is someone that doesn't need constant repetition to remember things, but I definitely feel like it's enough for him. So yes, I think they're enough. I think if you've got a child who needs to remember things, you might have them have an additional supplemental resource of some type, but I learned the hard way that they are enough. So the next question, do I engage with my viewers and do I answer DMs? Yes, I answer DMs to a fault. Actually, I've had to really start disciplining myself as my channel has grown and as my Instagram has grown, and as I've shared more relevant like day-to-day stuff, my DMs have drastically increased. And I was spending upwards of 3 to 4 hours a day replying to people, and basically just exhausted mentally from that, because if you think about it, we are really not designed to engage in that much social activity like in a day. And it was really depleting me of my energy, and so I had to I had to give myself some boundaries because there's just no way that I can do it all anymore. I don't have help. I don't have like someone who answers my stuff. I don't have, it's just all me. I do all the filming, all the editing, all the answering, all the posting, all the deadlines, all the things. And it was really starting to get to be too much. So yes, I do engage with my viewers, probably more than most, I would say. I think I do. Have I found any good at-home manis yet? I think you're asking that. I have found a few things that I like that are listed on my Amazon shop. And yeah, so I found a few things. I haven't found like a complete kit that I love every single thing about it in total, but I do have some nail stuff linked on my Amazon page. Let's see. Would I ever move out of the city to the countryside? Yes, but I would need a city nearby in order to be able to like go into the city and do the things that I would need to do there. What state would I most like to live in? I think that has changed like a lot of you over the last little bit of time. I probably would have said like Tennessee, Texas, maybe. We really want 4 seasons, like 4 solid seasons. But now we kind of are looking at some different states. So yeah, that's all I want to say about that. Would we ever move out of our state? Yes, we would move out of our state. Let's see, next question. Favorite guilty pleasure, snack, drink, or hobby? My favorite, I don't know. I don't feel guilty when I give myself like a little treat because I'm very, very disciplined when it comes to this kind of stuff. So I don't really feel guilty, but I guess I would say, like for a hobby, I enjoy doing nothing. Like I enjoy wasting time, what would ordinarily be like a waste of time, whether that's just, you know, watching some Magnolia Home or, you know, just like being able to waste time is probably what I feel most guilty about. And I love the So Delicious oat milk ice cream. That stuff is super good, and I could easily eat that whole little pint container in one sitting, and I should not allow that. Will I ever allow social media for my teenager? Probably not. Ways I make my house, laundry, car smell good. Well, my car smells good only because I clean out the trash. I'm very, very, very strict with my kids about that. If I find a wrapper or anything, I'm calling them out to the car. Get out here, clean it up. I don't really, they're out of the little kid stage where there's like crunched goldfish everywhere. So that helps with keeping the car smelling good, but I don't have any like fragrance in there. My house, I like to light candles and I open the windows. That's probably, and I keep my house clean. So naturally, I think if your space is clean, it's gonna smell clean. And laundry, I don't really use like scent booster in my laundry very often unless it's something really disgusting like moldy soccer socks or something that needs some help. So yeah, that's kind of what I do. Do I ever get overwhelmed when homeschooling? Absolutely. I get overwhelmed with life that is outside of homeschooling and figuring out how I'm going to give my best self to homeschooling when I've got a lot going on in my life. That's how I've been overwhelmed lately. I've felt emotionally overwhelmed because I have so much going on in my brain that it's hard for me to like settle in to homeschool. And then I also get really overwhelmed when all my kids talk to me at one time. So those are kind of like my trigger points for being overwhelmed. Do I talk to my oldest about future careers, college, anything I use to to guide discussion. We talk about college, we talk about future things. Obviously, right now we are living in a time where every week something is like drastically different than the week before. So that does present some challenges, but I'm trying not to worry about that too much because I think we all remember being like 14, and anything that we said we wanted to do when we were 14, 90% of us did not do that. And so I know that so much is going to change in our life and in her individually, that right now she's still kind of in that like dream phase where she doesn't really know what she wants to do for a job. I mean, I don't expect a 14-year-old to know that, and I don't think they should actually. So when she talks, we just kind of like, yeah, that'd be so cool, or you'd be really great at that. We're just kind of in that encouragement and dream phase, but we're not ironing out any specific details or career paths for her at this point. And anything to discuss, no, we just kind of follow her lead there. The next question: how has my church been during COVID? Well, we changed churches because we weren't happy with how it was being handled. And now for the last year, we've been in a church where it is as normal as it ever was, and I am so thankful for that. That has been a lifeline, and that is all I will say there. Thoughts on the future of our country with a bunch of emojis. That would just take up the whole video. I'm going to skip that question. Let's see, favorite Thanksgiving side dish. Ooh, I love green bean casserole, and I know that people probably are like cringing, but I love that stuff, and I only eat it once a year. So that is probably like one of my favorite side dishes, is the green bean casserole. The next one, would we ever consider living in our camper if it came down to it? Maybe for a short period of time where like we could be outside, but we did not buy a trailer large enough for us to live in it. I mean, it is very much just for sleeping, bathroom usage, but we could live in it, I guess, like we do on vacation for a couple of weeks, but definitely not a year or anything like that. Do I have any gluten or dairy sensitivities? Is that why I'm gluten-free and dairy-free? No, I'm gluten-free and dairy-free because of my polycystic ovary syndrome. Those are both inflammatory foods, and I've really tried about everything under the sun other than taking pharmaceuticals to treat my PCOS, and so this was kind of like the last thing that was left that I hadn't really given a fair shot to, and so that is why I eat that way. How did I find God? Well, I didn't find God. God found me. And I just started hearing him. So I was about 16, and I was just going through one of the hardest times of life for so many different reasons. And I had a friend whose parents forced her to go to church on Sundays. They were not like huge believers. It wasn't, they were surrendered and walking with God daily, but they had a rule, you know, come to church on Sunday. And so anytime I would spend the night at her house, which was often, we would go to church on Sundays. And that is just where God started softening my heart. And I went through like a pretty traumatic event as in my late teen years, like a life or death type situation. And that is when I was just like, I gotta change what I'm doing here. I gotta get my life. I am headed down a bad pathway. And that's when I was saved, and that is the beginning, so to speak. Let's see. Since we enjoyed Florida, do you think we will ever move there? We loved Florida. I filmed a little vlog for our 30-day vacation. I can never say never, but we would not choose to move to Florida. Even though I love the state, I love who's in charge of their state. I I loved the beach. I loved the people. Like, everything was so nice in the part we were in. But again, Jake and I we love 4 seasons, and I could not handle warm weather all year. I just couldn't do it. The next question, are we moving to Texas or possibly Wyoming? Thoughts for why to move there? Well, we are in a place in our life where we're waiting. So we don't have any actual like plans that we're moving forward with. But it's wise in these times when things are uncertain to assess like what your backup plan would be. And we do feel strongly pulled toward Wyoming, so we will see what comes of that, if anything comes of that in the future. Thoughts for why to move somewhere? Well, those would be different for everybody, but the things that I'm looking for are the safety of the state, the political climate of the state, the history of the political climate of the state, homeschooling laws, the education system. Even though my kids don't go to public school, obviously the education system is also a really great picture of how the state values like family and children and things like that. Cost of living, real important. 4 seasons, real important. Access to a major airport, pretty important to us. So those are kind of like our criteria. No state income tax, that's big. So yeah, those are some of the questions here. So now we will swipe. We're almost done. I'm gonna go until 30 minutes. Let's see, when do I do personal Bible study time? Generally in the morning. And then this person asked a follow-up question, what time do I get up? Between 6 and 6:30. What do my rest days look like for me? Generally that's on Sunday when we go to church, and so we go to church, we come home, we just have like a simple lunch. Generally Jake will make something on the Traeger that night. We might go for a walk, but I really focus on not cleaning, not doing chores, not working, and just kind of sitting down and chatting with whoever comes and finds their way near me, play a board game with the kids, you know, that kind of thing. How long did the transition from public school mindset to homeschool mindset take? Well, I think it's a continual thing, to be quite honest, but I feel like the initial transition was probably about the first year to 2 years. I could really feel myself breaking out of this like forced mold that was placed on me, and my thoughts about things started to change. But I'll tell you that from year 2 to year 7, man, it's a totally different ballgame. So I don't know if the shift in the mind ever like stops. So yeah. Do we have a fall bucket list for this year? Not yet, but we need to make one. If we could, oh, this question, do I conceal carry? Let's see. Would I sing at a karaoke night? Probably, if the right song came across. Top things or stuff that has made my organization and day as a homeschool mom easier. I think just having a really set rhythm and routine, doing the same thing in the same order every day. I know for a lot of people that is mundane, and it does get mundane at times, but rhythms and systems create efficiency, and efficiency allows me to do so many other things while also homeschooling, and it allows my kids to do so many other things. So I think it's less about the stuff that you're using and more about the routine and the rhythm and sticking to those things day in and day out most of the time. How am I emotionally handling having a 9th grader? She's very emotional about it. Yeah, it's hard. I can't think about it or I'll cry right here. So you're not alone. It is very, very hard, like so hard. I don't even have the right words. If I could hire someone to help me, would it be to clean, cook, or laundry? Definitely clean and then cook. Last page here, guys, so thanks for sticking with me. How am I naturally so regimented? This person says she tries so hard. So honestly, I think that I am like that because of my traumatic childhood and feeling so out of control. I think that feeling, and I know I'm not in control of my life as a believer, and if anything, the last few years have made me really, really aware of that. But feeling in control of my day-to-day life, like what am I eating, what am I doing, you know, that kind of thing. Systems and routines, they comfort me. I find peace in having a routine and structured life, and I think that part of it is I do have a tendency in my personality, so I have a strength there, but also at the same time I think that my childhood plays a huge role in that too. So the next one, can I make you my neighbor in Tennessee? Sure, build me a house and I'll be on my way. The next one, I've wanted to do a Martha Stewart style YouTube channel forever. Any tips on getting started and just learning how to edit videos and so on? I'll wrap up the Q&A here with this one. So tips on getting started is to just start. Every single person I've ever known who has started a YouTube channel hates their videos at the beginning. They cringe at them. So that is like a rite of passage. So just start. I would say be as consistent as you can be, because that is what will build your channel. If you upload a video every other month randomly, like, your channel's probably not gonna do as well as if you were consistent. So just start. Figure out kind of what you're passionate about, and then just be yourself on camera. That will draw the right audience to you, and they will love what you share. They will value what you share. All of the other things like editing and skills, really, I had no clue how to do any of that either, and the best way to learn is by just doing. So, you know, every YouTube person who makes videos hates their videos in the beginning. I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe anybody watched me back then. These are so bad. And I know that a lot of my friends who also do YouTube feel the same way, but it's just part of the process. You learn how to edit as you go. Of course, there are plenty of YouTube tutorials if you really, like, you know, have no idea how to do things, but naturally doing YouTube is like doing anything else. If you do it more, you're gonna learn. And some people actually who are really good at editing and their videos are very beautiful and things like that, they don't, I don't know, it's hard, you have to define how you measure success on YouTube, but sometimes people with amazing editing, their channels never take off. And so some of it is really how important is the editing and the software and the lighting. Is that more important than like the person who's giving the information and the message and the heart behind it? I don't know. I've seen people who start filming on an iPhone have a really successful channel and community, and I've seen people who are really talented, maybe like a former wedding videographer, and they're great at editing, but their channel never really goes anywhere. So, and that probably wasn't very helpful, but my advice would be to just start and be consistent and know like what you're trying to do. Don't try to make videos about this or that just because you think that they'll like perform really well. Stick to what your focus is and the mission that you have, and then just be consistent, and you'll learn as you go, and you'll learn tips and tricks along the way, and that's really the best way to do it. So that would be my advice. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's Q&A. It was fun to catch up with you guys over some coffee and answer your questions. I hope you enjoyed listening. Let me know if you have any more questions for me that didn't get answered in this Q&A. You can leave them down below. I will get back to you. Be sure to check out Unhide down below. You guys can use my code Grace and Grit for 15% off. Start your Christmas shopping, maybe treat yourself, I don't know, maybe both. But all that will be down below for you guys. But I hope you're doing well, and I will see you all in my next one really soon. Bye guys.
If I close my eyes and think about us, I can see the person I know.